You're listening to the Bruce and Deuce Show, but I digress show with Kip and Cam. If you're easily offended or politically correct, this show is not for you. We will offend, and we do not apologize.
Oh, it's just kind of a comment on, the big scary things happening, right? Freaking hey.
Well, I mean, all of us are poor on the side of the Lord anyway.
That's true.
All right. What? You got a more serious one?
Yeah,
well,
my number 4.
Well, this one's a little lighter note. Okay. You're listening to the Bruce and Deuce Show with
change the next one.
Kip and Cam. Well, we can do as many as we need to. The last one, we took a little heavier, serious spin on the lull of this year, 2015, September 13th, or around that time.
Something big
economically. So save your pennies or don't. It may not matter.
I don't know.
You may be
got metal value. I don't know.
You may wish you would have put your money into soup buying instead of into the bank.
Yeah. Buy your cigarettes and your whiskey and your food and whatnot. And
whiskey and sleeping pills.
Yeah, that'll save the rest of us, please.
Yeah. Okay, this one we're going to take a lighter turn. It's going to be the final conclusion of my 3-part series of Bigfoot, UFOs, and now vampires. Now, I bring this up in vampires in a loose term because we're going to go with anything supernatural. I mean, I'm talking the idea, there's a big zombie phase. There's
zombie werewolves?
Yeah, things like that. But the main thing is the idea of vampires because of this. I think I've encountered several in real life that I thought were not human. I mean, if I could say they were vampires, I would say that. But these weren't kooky kids dressed in black walking Renaissance fairs.
Yeah.
These were normal people that were not normal. They were definitely not normal.
How are they not normal?
You can just tell. And anyway, I brought this up because I had a very vivid dream the other night about vampires.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they were kind of. I mean, they were like you see in movies and stuff, but not necessarily. It wasn't just biting necks and drinking the blood. It was more of like if you ever seen like Daybreakers with Ethan Hawke. Basically, they were this invisible world, government powers, and secret people controlling normal people for food. But it wasn't like a mysterious kind of thing you see in movies with the black capes and...
Isn't that what like Jupiter Ascending was about? Like we're a harvest for food?
Yeah, kind of, but there's a big theory about that. And in a sense, man, we're not much more than cattle, let's be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as we know, we're not Soylent Green yet.
Yeah, but we could be.
That's true.
I mean, I think we know very little of what's actually going on.
I know. And that's the whole like the major underlying theme, I think, of all of this is that we all want to keep a blind eye because, I mean, what would we really do if we
if we had to confront the truth?
Yeah.
Like we want to... I'm not even being a conspirator, but who's really making the food? Who is the FDA? Who are these people approving these things? What are they doing behind closed doors? Are they really out for our benefit?
Yeah, and if you had a live phone line, we'd like to... You call in and say what your job's like, because, I mean, my guess is
we're working on a live phone line.
Actually, maybe I don't want to.
No, I would love to hear your thoughts on this.
Oh yeah, you want some guy from the FDA to call up? He's just like, yeah, I like show up for like 5 minutes and then like watch porn the rest of the day. Like
because it's really boring.
Like all those FAA guys, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Like their government computers just like weird, like filled with porn.
Because they have nothing else to do. They really don't do anything.
I know. I mean, I don't want to look at that, but I mean, can I get a job like that?
Yeah, well, no. Okay.
Go swim
I'm gonna say I'm not even gonna bring it up because I'm gonna leave it for a separate time. I'm gonna bring it back home to the beginning of the topic.
Yeah.
Vampires. Basically supernatural. And here's why I bring it up. Because I'm a nerd. I love this stuff. I love Edgar Allan Poe. I love the idea of a gothic world.
Yeah, I mean, I like that too in a sense, in a way. I mean, but Edgar Allan Poe wasn't really about supernatural creatures, was he?
Well, maybe not like the vampires, but of that other world, the creepy knocks, the otherworldly presence, this idea that vampires aren't human, they're part of the undead. I bring him up just because he was trying to explain the dark psyche of the mind.
Yeah.
And that's what we're exploring. It's basically the mind, right?
And that's kind of why I like Halloween. I kind of like the campiness and kind of like the darkness. I don't like the horror.
No, not like blood slashing.
Yeah, that's not...
This is like Maniac Killers.
Yeah, that's
not very...
that's not Halloween. That's...
Yeah.
But Halloween, All Hallows Eve, something, witches, that sort of thing. Something that was different than, our I don't know.
I just love the idea of like
Our
the
modern
1800s and the East Coast with the trees and the pumpkins and the fall.
I know.
The idea that there's witches, you know.
I think that had to do with the time that we lived in New York. There was something that inherently made us, the Rip Van Winkle legends, Stone Soup, all that.
There's something rich about
19th
about the
century.
land, about the culture, about our history that we're really, really losing rapidly.
Yeah, we are. I mean, for what? The thing you're listening on? Yeah, keep on listening, but I mean...
No, it's very handy.
Yeah, it's handy, but at the same time, I think it's killing. I was thinking about that the other day. I mean, without manual labor, we're so reliant on technology. We'll be screwed if, like our other topic was talking about, will we be able to plant? But I mean, again, this is
We'd all be dead within
This
a
is
month.
a digression back to the supernatural, especially like people. And I mean, actually, our modern world may have created the monsters more than we think we do. Because I was thinking Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
There's people that have had their faces replaced on them, and I think I didn't read the article because I'm just a skimmer of stuff, to be honest with you. But the person that donated their face to this guy that replaced the face, I think the old girlfriend or wife saw her dead husband's face for the first time on this other person.
Whoa. Back the bus up.
Yeah.
I am not familiar with this story, so you're going to have to be a little more detailed.
I don't know the details.
So there was a guy who died,
Yeah.
and then there was another guy.
Yeah, and I guess
alive.
He lost his face.
He lost his
They're
face in
doing
like an
these total-
accident?
Yeah, they're doing these total face plants.
Okay, so the guy was in
Like
some...
Face Off,
Yeah,
remember?
I mean, I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but so this is a real life story.
Yeah,
And the guy had some kind of accident where his face was deformed.
apparently.
And they took this dead guy's face and planted it back on this guy.
I think so, yeah. And I think then the wife saw it or something like that. I apologize. I didn't read the article. I was just skimming because I'm like, that's just weird. And I don't really want to get into it. But I mean, so a modern day Frankenstein.
So basically, anything's possible. I did read an article about a French scientist who said he will be able to successfully transplant heads in 2 years.
Oh, I read that too. Or heard about that.
Yeah. So you could basically swap heads. I don't know if I believe
Return
that.
to Oz,
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about things that are scientific, but also that are coming from this idea of the supernatural. I mean, the idea of even vampires living forever is kind of like the Christian idea where your soul's going to live forever.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, but in the devil sense, right? Because they say that's where the original vampire came from, right?
Well, right, because he doesn't really have a soul.
So, is all the scientific stuff being driven by the supernatural? Like, are we trying to create the supernatural that we don't think we have?
Yes, because, well, even like Hitler wanted to create the Uberman, right?
That's true.
The Superman. I mean, that's where we get these comic books from. I mean, these hyped up Nazi German soldiers that were experimenting with meth. That's where meth came from. They give them to these soldiers and they'd run into the bullets, not even worried about it. So we are creating the supernatural.
So is that a zombie then, right?
Yeah, basically it's a zombie. But what is the definition of a zombie? Is it's a low-level brain function.
Which is most of us now.
And that's actually...
Congratulations.
No, that's actually... Congratulations. Zombie America. It's America. It's America.
It's America.
I like beer. But I digress.
And now this program is over.
Yeah, until the next day. But, I guess it's just the fantasy. I love literature. Man, you know what? I just lost his name. The guy who wrote Center of the Earth, or Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Jules Verne.
Jules Verne.
Yeah, I mean...
Now, talking about
I
that...
was thinking about that a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. I was just like, where do we go with science fiction? Because it's all built... I mean, there's a couple of forerunners, right?
Yeah.
Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, right? I mean...
But they took Jules Verne, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, right?
Yeah.
It was just an imaginary book at the time about an atomic submarine. It didn't exist. But because of that book, they took that idea and they built one. And now we have atomic submarines from someone's imagination. So yeah, I think in a way we definitely
but
are
how long
creating.
did it take to do that?
It doesn't matter how long.
Well, all I'm saying is that with the progression of technology, this kind of goes back to the other topic, UFOs, and maybe our own abilities, right? Because we have all this sci-fi stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like traveling to Mars and stuff. Have we actually traveled there and we just don't know it? Because, I mean...
Yeah, because we don't know what we're being told.
Yeah, if like Jules Verne, they created this atomic submarine that he had no idea. I mean, just completely conceptualized. It would seem like we have gotten somewhere farther than destroying NASA and not even going to the moon anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer in that. I mean, obviously with this Jules Verne example and sci-fi example, okay, we may not be able to do all those things yet, But because we can now see how things work better, the faster it will come about. So maybe we can't teleport yet, but because we see it in movies and Star Trek, we can start to build on how it might be possible to do.
Would you really teleport?
It would have been great coming down here to just be here.
Well, I mean, I know, but I mean, like, it would have to be very settled because I wouldn't want my being obliterated into whatever. Right?
Listen, though, I think, honestly, it seems a little weird and maybe far-fetched, but it can't be that much different than radio waves, television waves, computer waves. Those come in 100% most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's
And
true.
when they don't, it's because there's a connection, but then you reconnect it and it comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, think of a radio wave. There's radio waves coming in this room right now, and all we have to do is turn the dial. And
it's messed up. I mean, actually, to think about it, because I was in the telecommunications industry, and I mean, you know, in a city, there is so much chatter. I mean, they're trying to figure out frequencies because there are so many things going on. Everybody's phone has a Wi-Fi card in it that's emitting a signal. Most everybody has a router that's emitting a signal. Just think about all your iPads, your iPhones, computers, your routers, everything's emitting a signal. And that's not affecting us? It's got to be.
It's got to be, but also, for the most part, there's not a mess up. I don't get cross signals right now. I'm not getting someone else's call. I mean, I'm saying it happens, but not...
I've been getting them on my phone, and it makes it sound like you're talking to aliens. So I don't know if it's like the TSA or the NSA is like jumping in on the call, and all of a sudden they're just two guys talking, listening to our conversation. I don't know, but it gets weird.
Maybe it's vampires listening.
Maybe vampires. Vampires in connection with the government, we're screwed.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, too. Back to vampires and Bigfoots and UFOs. If they're real, they probably do want to stay out of sight. You're not going to find them. I believe that they could all be real, but you're not really going to know. And the sightings...
Yeah, I'd want to be out of sight, too, actually.
I want to be out of sight of
I
you.
know. Exactly. Get me off this grid. And you couldn't hear us anymore, so...
Well, we can talk off the grid. We just send it to someone every month. It couldn't be on the phone. It had to be on a tape recorder. They can trace that. Do they even sell tape recorders anymore?
Yeah, those mini ones.
Oh, they do?
And I have one.
Really?
Yeah.
They sell tapes?
They got some. I don't know if they sell them.
I don't know if they sell them. You're listening to the Bruce and Deuce Show with Kip and Cam, the I Digress Show.
That was super digressive right there.
You're listening to the Bruce and Deuce Show, but I Digress Show with Kip and Cam.